Welcome to Happily Ever After, the podcast which seems to talk about all sorts of different things, but one listener described it as the place where we talk about what everyone else is thinking, but maybe not saying out loud. I am your host, Hannah Harvey. I'm a writer and a parenting blogger at mumsdays.com. That's mumsdays.com. If you wouldn't mind subscribing and leaving a review, that would be amazing because it basically means more people can find the podcast. And I also would really love to hear from you. So please could you contact me through Instagram at mumsdays. You can message me anything really, but you know, your stories of life and heartbreak, or any thoughts you might have on the episode, or any questions you want answering. And as always, you can find the details from this episode in the show notes. Welcome to Happily Ever After. And we have basically very slowly eased into the new year, haven't we?
Certainly have.
And we thought we'd just do a little update and a catch up because this is actually the first time we've seen each other since before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hello.
so how was your Christmas?
Well, it was good in the end. If anybody's listened to the previous podcast where we talked about Christmas, they'll know that I wasn't looking forward to it very much. But in the end, I just stayed home, made some nice food, hung out with my boyfriend. It was delightful.
That sounds lovely.
How was yours?
It was really nice actually. Once I'd got over the stress of packing the car and making sure that the Barbie house fit in the car and all that, and that I could still get my children in the car too. It was just really nice. We turned up at my mum and dad's at like 1:00. Christmas was nearly ready. No, Christmas dinner was nearly ready. Christmas was
That's
very
what Christmas
ready.
is about, let's be honest. Like, it's all about the food.
Yeah. And especially my mum's, like, she does the best Christmas dinners. And I know it's been scientifically proven that your mum's cooking does something to you where no other food can ever be as good.
Yeah,
Apparently.
That's a thing. Totally
So,
believe it.
yeah. The kids opened their presents, we had dinner, we chilled, I ate all of, like, the chocolates and the yummy stuff.
Nice.
It was really good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, we watched the Smeds and the Smoos, or whatever that's called.
What's that?
You know.
I don't have any children.
So every year the BBC does a like a Christmas. Well, it's not even a Christmas thing, but it's one of Julia Donaldson's books. So it started with the Gruffalo.
Oh yes.
And they've basically done one every year since.
Nice.
And I love them so much.
Yeah.
Like The Snail and the Whale is one of my favourites and always makes me cry. But yes, so it was the Smeds and the Smoos this year, and it's like a tradition to just watch them, and it was lovely.
Oh, that sounds delightful. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Christmas is about. Definitely more of them.
Yes. And it was a little bit stressful afterwards, just because then we were driving and we were trying to fit in visiting family, and it was great to see them, but you know, when you're just like, I feel
that's
like
what
we
I don't
didn't
like about it, like the too much back and forth, you know, but as long as you had a nice time anyway.
We did have a really lovely time, but I do think I didn't realise how much I needed to just have a day or two in my house with the kids.
Yeah.
And like when we finally came back, we literally spent all day just in the house playing with stuff, and then we did go for a swim at the end of the day, and that was really nice just to get out and get some fresh air. But yeah,
I bet they really enjoyed those bits where they just got to come home and play with the toys as well, you know.
I think so. So yeah, it was really lovely, and then I've been on holiday.
Yes, nice.
Yeah, so we had New Year's Eve here, and then I dropped the kids at the dad's on the 1st at like lunchtime, and then I went on holiday. Lovely.
And you feel well rested and ready to fight back?
Well, no.
Well, me either.
So we were going to talk about like how we feel about New Year's resolutions, and I'm a big fan of hi Sean. Yeah, I'm a big fan of a resolution, but I feel like Yeah, I'm not sure actually this year.
Yeah, not big on them myself.
But I think that so Katie got me this book. It's called Burn Before Reading, for Christmas. This Katie.
Hello.
And I think it's like exactly what I needed to read, because I think, you know, I get plenty of sleep and all that kind of stuff, but there's something in it, and I'll read it, which is called, basically, the World Health Organization acknowledged in 2019 that burnout is a thing.
Totally is.
So this is what they say. It's burnout is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion. It can occur when you experience long-term stress in your job, or when you've worked in a physically or emotionally draining role for a long time. Common signs of burnout are feeling tired or drained most of the time, feeling helpless, trapped and or defeated, feeling detached and alone in the world, feeling overwhelmed. And I think Christmas burnout, like rushing around and trying to make sure that the kids are okay, and then as soon as I dropped them off, I then was like feeling sad and like I missed them immediately, and feeling guilty that I wasn't going on holiday with them. So yeah, that it was a lovely holiday and really restful, but there were moments where I was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit hopeless, and like I've got zero ideas, and yeah.
I think like with all the, like, we've got so much build up to Christmas, and we spend months and months preparing for it, and then it's all over in a day, and it's a bit of a like anti-climax in the end, and you almost need like a month in between the December and the start of January to like recover from it all, I think.
And
it's a bit much.
Yeah, it's a bit much. And we were saying we didn't really have chance to go what was good with the year.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I have spotted lots of people who've written like their list of like their books, their favourite books of the year, and I was like, shit, I've definitely read books and I can't remember anything about them. No. And I just feel like something I would like to take into the new year is documenting things better, so that I can be like, oh, I've achieved this and I've achieved that. And which is, I was saying, like, I love the fact that we do these podcasts and do blogs, because it's just a really good record of what you've actually achieved.
Yeah, and we launch into January with, like, you know, resolutions being top of the list, and suddenly expecting ourselves to be much better people with a lot more resilience and willpower, and actually we should spend a bit of time celebrating what we've done the previous year, I think.
Surviving 2022.
Yeah, exactly.
Is a big thing. Because it was stressful. But yeah, loads of great things came from it as well, and I think having that moment to be like, oh yeah, it was a good year, and yeah. So are you a resolution setter?
So I am not like anti-resolution, but I'd never set them, and even if I'm thinking about it, even if I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do a resolution this year, I'm like, I don't stick to it. I don't even set it, but even if I did, I wouldn't stick to it. I know that I'm that kind of person.
Yeah.
So for me, it's better to just like focus on the small things, because that's what I get a sense of achievement from. Have you set a resolution?
Have I? I've decided to set a word. So obviously we've talked about it in its play. So I'm just reading Catherine's message. She says she's ditched resolutions a while back, settled more on intentions. Yeah, I think that's it. And also not waiting for year end to make changes.
Absolutely.
Totally. I quit drinking in October. So like the 21st of October is just decided then, like, you don't have to wait.
No, you don't, that's right. And we shouldn't expect ourselves to suddenly be completely different people on the 1st of January.
Yeah. So yeah, my intention is to play more, and I don't even know if that's the right word. Like, I'm wondering if explore would be better, but it doesn't have to be perfect, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's right. And I think like setting something, like, you've kind of gone the opposite to me. You've gone really massively broad. Like play.
Yes,
it could be anything. But I was gonna read you my
yes,
little to-do list.
This
is the things that I like to think of as my resolutions and what I'm going to work on for the year. So I've written need new bras. Metro Centre.
Plural.
One day. I definitely need more than one new bra. Like, it's been years. It's not okay anymore.
Okay.
I've also got on here a note to get some stamps to go on a card.
It's not a resolution.
No, exactly. This is what I mean. Like, I feel like you should tackle the small things first. Because I can't get myself some stamps to post a card to go see some friends who got married in June to congratulate them on their wedding.
Last June.
Yeah. So, and then the other one that's on here as well is haircut. So I had, last time I got my hair cut, which will have been like 6 months ago now or something, I got my hairdresser to do an undercut, which is where they like shave the hair on one side, and this is it now.
Oh.
So it's not my best look. So I need to do something about that. First of all, do something about that, and maybe secondly, make a resolution that I'm not going to get any more extreme haircuts that require upkeep. Because I can't do it.
So for anybody who can't see Katie right now, she's just got a really long flappy bit over her ear.
It's quite sad.
It's like a fringe, but just over your ear.
Fringe for just the left-hand side of my head.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. What was it? There was something else about... Okay, yes, I hate chores, like going to the post office. Mm-hmm. So if you physically... I have some stamps, you can have one.
Thank you. Oh,
physically having a book of stamps in your house feels like you've removed one of the taxing things about sending letters.
Yeah, and I guess that's just a simple thing. Maybe that needs to be my resolution, to like make my life a bit easier by having a book of stamps.
And fundamentally, what you're actually doing is you're wanting to contact more, you're wanting to connect with your friends more, and that's what that's about. Mm-hmm. So you want your book of stamps so that you can send the card to let them know that you're thinking of them and you care. That's the resolution, really, isn't it?
That's true, but I feel like if my resolution was actually to make sure I kept up with my friends more, I'd be like, not bothering with that. No,
but instead it's like, I'll get a book of stamps, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
So that's my, instead of resolutions, I'm going to get a haircut and some bras.
Yeah, I get that. It's self-care.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I went to the dentist today and they were like, you need this bottle brush or whatever they call it and this thing. And I was like, it's January, I'm going to get them.
Good.
Instead of being like, I'm going to go home and order it from Amazon and actually never ever do it. Instead, I'm going to just buy it here because it's there and it's easy. So allowing yourself the ease of being like... the permission to get something because it's easy and it's there.
Yeah, because then you'll actually do it.
Yeah. Like, my teeth deserve to be looked after.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Very nice.
Good. So, I guess let's finish on what we consider... Oh no, there was one other thing that I wanted to read from this, Burn Before Reading, which I loved. It's a lush little book. If you ever come across it, I would highly recommend.
Published by the Pound Project, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. I was looking at all the other ones, and they look great. But yeah, so it starts on almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you.
Yeah, so true. Turn it off and back on again.
I love it. And the whole premise of the book is like using reading as a way to unplug, because I think especially with what we do, we're constantly reading to get inspiration. Whereas sometimes you just want to read some trash and relax and get lost in a really riveting, maybe sexy story.
Maybe sexy.
Which leads me nicely onto play and some of the things that I would quite like to do this year. One of which is, I don't really do much for play, I don't think. Maybe I'm playing all the time, I don't know, but
yeah, but that's the intention. That's what we want to do, isn't it? You know?
I think what I mean by play is to do things that maybe scare me, but take the pressure off by saying it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Like this Instagram live, it's just for fun. If it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. If nobody watches it, it doesn't matter because we're still recording a podcast and it'll go live tomorrow and blah blah blah. just for fun.
I like it. I'm all for play.
Yeah, and it just. We'll edit that. No one will
we
see.
can't edit it.
We can edit. I'm all for play.
And this is the joy thing on Instagram Live, I suppose, isn't it? I'm all for play.
Which leads nicely into my other thing that I want to do. Because I was thinking about writing more, and I thought, it'd be really quite fun to write a porno.
And I have a feeling I'm somehow going to get sucked into this.
Oh, God. Stop using the weird words.
Sorry. Get drawn into it.
Well, you can edit.
I don't want to.
Alright. Don't then. It's for me. It's for my playing. Sexmas. But yeah, I just want to have a go at some stuff, and it doesn't matter if it goes wrong.
Great. Including
You up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to join a choir, I think, as well. I want to do some more singing.
Play. She's all for
Playing. Yeah. Alright, are we done?
Well, we were going to talk about Dry January.
Oh, how are you
There is
getting
that
on?
as well. Good. Yes, good. So Hannah's sober all the time. But I'm just experimenting with it for January.
That's my
Is that
hair.
hair, right? Okay. For the podcast listeners, she's doing a halo around her head because she's an angel.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. So, like, Hannah has produced a Dry January journal, which we're very much enjoying. I found it because, of course, I did. You know,
She makes books.
I make books, but it's got some lovely prompts, which help you, which obviously I've been using a lot.
You're going to start this week, aren't you?
Yeah, I am going to start
work.
this week, yeah. And the idea is to document how you feel throughout January and see if it makes you feel any different from not drinking. But I also think this is a nice one to follow through, even if, you know, you just want to tune in with yourself and see how you're doing. So that's available to download on the Mum's Days website if anybody wants to join in. I obviously haven't written in mine yet, so why don't you join in now with me as well?
Start on the 10th.
Yeah, and in terms of not drinking, like, there's so much, like, there's a lot of people doing it as well. I've heard about a lot of people and their experiences of Dry January just from working in retail, because that's the kind of thing we chat about. And there was a customer in the shop the other day who said that they were going to put together all of the money that they saved from not spending it on alcohol and get something else nice instead, like one of the prints from the shop. So
I think that's
a really good
prompt
idea.
even. Like, what are you going to treat yourself with?
Yeah, it's
So-
great. And my plan is to go for some more nice food because it'll be so affordable when we're not having a glass of wine with it, you know. So yeah, it's going good, and I'm gonna eventually write down how I'm feeling, and then we'll check in back at the end of January.
Maybe you don't need that. Some people don't. Some people like it, and other people don't, and I think that's fine.
Enjoying
I bought a new journal recently. I bought a new journal. I was like, I'm gonna write in it, but all I do is carry it around.
Yeah, sometimes you kind of like. It just makes you feel better to have those little bits of stationery, which Kat would really hate.
She's
Friend of the podcast, Kat. Yeah, she would.
Decluttering Kath. No, I have written a few nice quotes about playing in it at the front.
Good.
And then, I've been doing stuff around, it's called bodywork, which is kind of like acupressure points. So I've been restudying some of that and writing that in, because that's kind of playful too.
Nice. Yeah. I'm all for journaling for play. Good idea.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks, Katie.
Well, thank you. And thank you, anybody who's watched. This has
Yeah.
been good and fun, and we've enjoyed it.
You can catch up on it if you missed it. And if ever you want to get in touch with us to talk about the podcast or questions, we want a lot more audience participation in the new year because it's fun. And yeah, just get in touch.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much for listening and have a great week. And I'll see you next time for another episode of Happily Ever After with me, Hannah Harvey. I would be very grateful if you wouldn't mind leaving a review or subscribing because this helps more people find this podcast. And of course, if you've got a friend who you think might enjoy this episode, please do recommend it to them as well. For anything else, your thoughts on the episode or any questions, please do get in touch with me through Instagram at mumsdays, or you can email me, hannah@mumsdays.com. And I genuinely love hearing from you, so please do get in touch. Bye!